You ever come home after a long, grueling trip just dreaming of your own bed and a little bit of peace only to find out someone's turned your whole world upside down? That's what happened to me, Brian Miller, ranch owner, stubborn as a mule and just as tired when I pulled up. After 2 weeks on the road, stepped out of my truck and nearly lost my mind right there at the top of the drive. Where my granddad's old red barn used to stand 60 years, that barn survived blizzards, windstorms, and a few bad paint jobs. Courtesy of yours truly, there was now this hideous gray warehouse. Steel walls, fresh concrete, and a sign bolted on crooked as sin HOA storage unit. Private. My barn was gone. I could barely breathe just staring at that metal monstrosity sitting on my land like it owned the place. My land. My rules. Except suddenly they weren't. I didn't even grab my luggage, just tore down the drive. Dust billowing behind my boots, heart going so fast I thought I'd see stars. 14 hours on planes. Then this who in the world gave them the right? The warehouse door was locked up tight, but on the side I spotted muddy tire tracks, beer cans, and a clipboard stamped up with HOA logos. And next to that, a pile of broken timber splinters and a rusty horseshoe, the bones of my barn just tossed out like trash. You know that kind of anger where you shake so hard you can't talk. That was me standing there, fists balled up, trying to piece together what the hell had happened while I was gone. Just then I heard the crunch of tires, white SUV rolling an HOA logo on the side, and out popped Karen Taylor, the president herself, looking like she was headed to Sunday brunch. She didn't even blink. "Oh, you're back early," she chirped, as if this was all just a little misunderstanding. "We've been meaning to talk about that old eyesore of a barn." And then, before I could even spit out a word, she shoves a notice in my face and says, "We'll fine you if you interfere." I hadn't said a single thing yet. What authority, what world, what madness was this? My jaw dropped. That's when it hit me. They'd built this warehouse on my ranch and thought a flimsy piece of paper made it theirs. Let me back up a sec, because none of this happened out of nowhere. 2 months back, life was peaceful. I'd inherited this 10-acre spread just outside Colorado Springs from my granddad, a man who could fix anything with duct tape, and patience raised me to work hard, mind my own business, and never back down from a bully. The place was my pride, quiet except for the animals and the wind, until the Whispering Pines HOA started nosing around. Their fancy new subdivision butted up to my fence, and suddenly I was getting flyers about community beautification and shared guidelines for land they didn't own. I ignored them naturally. My land's got its own well, its own address, its own gate, and zero reason to answer to a board of strangers. Then came the letters. First one was just a warning about my non-compliant barn. Second one, a $50 fine taped to a photo of my barn like some kind of ransom note. I called my neighbor Eric just to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. He got one too for having chickens. They fined me for a rooster crowing. He laughed. I'm not even in their stupid map. That's when I figured it was just new folks with too much time on their hands trying to flex. Tossed the letters in the trash and tried to forget it. But then came the invite to a community meeting hosted by, you guessed it, Karen Taylor, who looked like she could kill a man with her smile. First thing out her mouth was that my barn was visible from their subdivision, and folks had concerns. I asked which ones. She changed the subject. "We just want everyone playing by the same rules," she said. "I'm not on your field," I told her, "and I'm not signing anything." Her eyes narrowed and she said, "We'll see about that." And that's when things started to go sideways. Fast forward, I leave for Houston, get invited to speak at a cattle expo. A big deal for me. Set up cameras, asked Eric to watch the place, and hit the road. 4 days in the camera feed cuts out. Thought it was the wind. Turns out someone just snipped the lines. That's when they struck Karen and her little HOA squad, brought in a bulldozer, tore down my barn, and started building their warehouse. Didn't even try to hide it. If you think that's where the crazy ends, buckle up. The day I got home, walking the perimeter of this brand new warehouse, I hear barking. Peer around the back and there's a moving truck boxes being loaded up, and my family's weather vane, my granddad's, bent and tossed in the dirt. "Oh, don't worry," Karen calls, "we saved anything worth keeping." Before I can even reply, some guy in a hard hat marches up and asks if I've got the keys to the lower gate, like I'm his employee. I say, "You're trespassing." Karen shrugs. "Take it up with the board." That was it. I was done playing nice. She waved another paper in my face. "Warehouse approved unanimously by the board. How can you vote on land you don't own? She smirked. Said, it's all in the paperwork. Then her phone rings and she tells me, maybe you should talk to your lawyer. Something clicked. She'd filed something while I was out of state, some bogus county paperwork with a forged signature. Just then, the warehouse doors swing open, and out comes a line of dogs in cages, new sign going up, Whispering Pines, HOA Kennel Storage Facility. They were running a commercial kennel on my land. Eric pulled up right about then, speechless. Karen, cool as ice, tells us it's community investment. She shows me a laminated land map with my property scribbled over in blue marker, future extension approved by her board. No signature, no deed, just pure fiction. You forged this, I said. She smiled. That's a strong accusation. Calm down. But I wasn't calming down. That night couldn't sleep for the barking. Next morning I drove straight to the county records office ready for war. Nice woman named Lisa prints off a filing, my coordinates under HOA Parcel 14B, signed not by me but by Brian Miller, in handwriting I'd never seen. That's identity fraud, she whispers. Snapped a photo for me, promised to flag it. First real win, but only the tip of the iceberg. On the way home, I call Mark, a land attorney. Told him everything. He says, you got proof, photos, footage. I do. This is bigger than zoning. Get me everything. But before I can do more, construction workers are back in my yard marking boundaries with spray paint. Eric shows up with a letter, the HOA's annexing his land too, under a community integration plan. That night we sit on my porch watching plastic fencing go up, and Eric just shakes his head. Still think it's a power trip. Nope. He says this is war. Karen doubles down. Next day throws an HOA pet parade on my lawn, tables, balloons, people stepping on my grass like it's their park. Someone even asks if I'm the new groundskeeper. I just turn around, fly my drone over the warehouse and film everything. Trucks, dogs, license plates, timestamped to the minute. Sent it to Mark. That's when he calls me Panicked Brian. They just filed a complaint with the county about you, accusing you of harassment and unauthorized surveillance on my own land. Karen had beaten me to the punch, twisting the story. Next morning, a bulldozer's rolling toward my chicken coop. I sprint out yelling, "Stop worker in a yellow vest." Shrugs orders from HOA management. Karen appears. Didn't you get the updated blueprint? I lose it. This is my land. She whips out her phone. I'm calling the cops. And she does 2 sheriff cars, roll up Karen screaming about threats and bulldozers, officers trying to sort it out. I show them the deed photos, videos, but right then the bulldozer reverses and crushes my coop. Chickens scatter feathers everywhere. One of the workers laughs, and for a second I almost see red. Then my phone buzzes. Mark texts, "They've filed an emergency variance for temporary ownership. You have 48 hours to fight or lose it." I don't cry, but I'm close. That night after the cops leave, Eric brings over coffee. "What's in that safe of your granddad's?" he asks. I head inside, dig out Grandpa's old green safe deeds boundary maps. A covenant clause from the 80s that says no neighbor or HOA can claim rights without my signature. Bulletproof, notarized. I call Mark. He nearly shouts, "That's gold. Let's serve them." Next morning, Karen's throwing another party. I show up in boots and jeans, hand her a cease and desist with a formal trespass notice. She turns purple, stammers. "You can't be serious." But I stand firm. My land, my rules, my proof. Some board members start to back away. But Karen's not finished. She tries to file a counterclaim for communal utility rights, tries to drag us into court to stall for time. I go on offense. Gather every bit of footage I have, drone trail cams, even a video of Karen telling workers, "Just say the barn was abandoned, the county won't care." Upload it everywhere. Next morning, my story's viral, thousands of views, comments from all over. Then I get an anonymous message. "Karen's done this before, want proof." Soon after, another bombshell footage from inside the warehouse, Karen with a gas can the night before the fire that torched the whole place. That's right. The warehouse burned, flames pouring out, dogs barking, Karen flying up the road, screaming arson, blaming me. Fire chief's not buying it, insurance guy hints it looks staged. Then we find the real kicker under the warehouse, a sealed steel hatch, old chemical storage, hidden since before the HOA was ever built. Karen tried to cover it up, burn the records, hide evidence of a massive environmental crime. Federal agents get involved, indictments rain down, arson, fraud, racketeering, the whole book. The end, not quite. Karen gets arrested in front of her entire board. Mara, a former board member, steps up, apologizes, hands me more proof, and together with Mark, we finally get county officials to do what they should have done months ago. Return my land, apologize publicly, and launch a full audit. Even then, threats keep coming. Black SUVs, rocks thrown at my door, anonymous notes telling me to drop it. I don't. Last twist, when they dig under the warehouse, they find bins of chemicals, crates, old files, evidence of a cover-up stretching back decades. Karen was trying to erase history to make a buck. Now she's in jail, denied bail, HOA dissolved, and Whispering Pines is quiet for the first time in years. I rebuilt my barn stronger than ever. Mara leads an anti-HOA group. Eric's chicken coop is back. And me, I finally feel peace, not because the world got quieter, but because I stood up and made it happen. So let me ask, if someone came for your land, your story, your legacy, would you fight back or let them pave over it? Where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. Tell me what you think. Was justice served, or is there more to fix? Like, share, follow for more wild HOA takedowns, and suggest the next story you want to see, because in this neighborhood you never know what's coming next.